Hey guys, today we're going to be interviewing and talking to a fellow motocross enthusiast and motorcycle hobbyist and YouTuber. His name is Tomek Cymerman, and he's out of Poland in Europe. And basically, we're going to just be chatting. We reached out to each other on social media a little while back and figured, hey, let's just kind of get each other's stories. And so I've been wanting to chat with him, see what his background is. He has a YouTube channel called Lobo Moto, and they do everything from daily vlogs to how-to tutorials on bike maintenance and repair and product reviews, a little bit of everything, and even getting some cool behind the scenes with companies like Olens and things like that. So if you're looking for a channel that shows you how-to on your bike and maintenance and upkeep, then that's awesome. And if you're looking to see what he's involved with in the motocross scene out in a different place other than America or the States, it's kind of cool to get some insight in that direction too. So we'll be having him on my channel today, getting his background, his story, how he's helped grow with his team the channel to almost 10,000 subscribers, which is awesome, in a little less than 2 years now. So it's kind of cool to see where he comes from, how he's gotten to where he is today, and what he plans to do with the platform that him and his group of friends have been able to develop over some time. So check out the interview here, and be sure to check out his channel and subscribe in the details down below in the description. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you like this stuff. So all right, without further ado, here we go. And I guess before we get ahead of that even, do a short intro of who you are, what you do for fun, what kind of you do for work, and where you're located, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, that's a crazy story. Okay, so I'm basically 28 years old. I'm from Poland, Warsaw, which is the capital of Poland. And I grew up in the countryside, so I had lots of time, lots of free space. So first thing I picked up was mountain biking, or not mountain biking as in like racing the mountains, but what you used to do as well, like dirt jumps and street and stuff like this. And from that, I kind of slowly transitioned into motorcycles, and we rode with a bunch of friends of mine. We just rode.
Like trails and stuff, or a little bit of everything?
Yeah, trails. Here they call it enduro. But it's not really enduro, it's just riding with your friends. Yeah. But people kind of get it confused between the competitive enduro and just riding around. And then in 2007, just out of nowhere, we decided to race a race. And it was a cross-country race, which is more like a GNCC. So it's I think the rules have changed now, but I've been out of the loop for such a long time with racing, I have no idea. But at the time, it was a 90-minute race time. One lap was supposed to be anywhere from 6 to 11 kilometers, I think. And, who done the most laps won in that time. So, like, racing is racing.
Yeah.
And the first race was in this town called Lidzbark, which is up north of Poland. And it was made on this old ski slope. So it was the hills, a little bit of woods. It was pretty cool.
Was it wet?
I think it was the coolest track I've ever raced on. So,
was it pretty dry out where you're at? Or is it
dry.
Pretty damp? Yeah. Do you guys get a lot of weather?
Yeah, we do. We get all the seasons.
Okay.
So that race was, I think it was raining the 3 days before. And when we arrived, it was still wet. But then they run the quads first, the ATVs. Then they run the fast guys, and at the end was this amateur class, which we raced, and it was all nice and tacky and dry, and it was perfect. Cool. And this was our first race. We had no idea. We had this old bikes. I raced my first motocrosser, which was a 2004 YZ125.
Ooh, that's a great bike.
Yeah, it is. My friend had a clapped out RM125. We're not even sure that it actually had a Nika seal coating in the cylinder, or if it was just sleeve. We're not sure. I can't remember now. My third friend raced his dad's KTM 400 EXC.
Wow.
And my friend on the RM came in first. I came in third on the first day.
Oh, that's cool.
So we kind of podiumed the race. And then the second day, because it was a 2 days race, I had so much pain in my back, I couldn't ride anymore. So I just rode around. And I think he came in third or second. So he podiumed his first ever race, which blew our mind. And pretty much that's the story how we got into racing. And to answer more of your questions, yeah, I live in Italy now, but I've moved around a couple last years. So in the past 5 years, I lived in obviously Poland, then in the UK, in England, just south of London, in an area called Essex, which is famous for all these Geordie Shore kind of type people. If you follow MTV, but it's actually quite great. It's just it's kind of a stigma of the place. And then I lived a couple months in Norway. Then I moved back to UK. This time it was that was north of London. Then I lived in south of London in a place called Brighton, which is the seaside. It's really cool. And now I live in Italy, so it's been quite an amazing ride. And I do something totally different. I work in the aviation industry, basically. So
for your day job, yeah?
For my day job. I don't want to spill what I do exactly, but let's keep it that I work at aviation, and that should be enough. So I travel a lot, and but recently I had quite a bit of time at home, so that's pretty cool.
Good. I guess walk me through your story in terms of YouTube and stuff. And, I'm starting out this adventure.
Yeah.
Don't really know where it's going to go or what it could turn into, but you're way further along in that kind of adventure than I am. And so just kind of want to know what even ticked it off from the beginning. What got you interested in starting to make content, and why did that happen, and how did the momentum start?
Okay, so a lot of these things probably be the same with what I told you during our previous conversation. But I was actually thinking like how to structure it so people understand. And there wouldn't be any content or YouTube without me having this great passion for motorcycles and actually anything two wheels, and an engine. So
you guys got together. Are you still all kind of working together and producing content or being involved in the motorcycle industry?
Yes, so it all started we know each other. So the guys you see on the YouTube channel, which will be me, which will be my friend Kuba, which will be like Jacob in English. He's the main guy on the channel. Then we have the youngest of us, which his name is Pavel, but we call him Cozy. It's like a nickname. Yeah. And then there's a Peter, but you don't see him as often because he's got a second job as well, and he's not featured as much, but he's always there with us. And basically, us three, so me, Jacob, and Peter, we know each other from school. Yeah. But I know Jacob from first grade. So, we're 28 years old now, so it's been almost 22 years, almost 29. Cool. So we know each other quite a bit of time. And the fourth guy is a brother of Peter, and he's like, I don't know, maybe 5 years younger, 4 years younger, I'm not even sure. But he's been around forever as well. So we gave him the bug to race motorcycles, and we're just friends.
So you guys got into the motorcycle racing, you guys all are passionate about moto. So what kind of clicked, or how did it turn into a hobby and transition into this thing where you guys actually produce content that, you got over 8,000 something subscribers and people enjoy what kind of information you bring online? That's really cool.
Yeah, so we all kind of went our separate ways at some point.
Yeah.
I totally changed. I quit motorcycles. I had a really bad accident years back in 2007, which kind of made me think if it's all worth it.
Yeah.
And I got a little upset with my friends and with racing, so I just went totally different. And I concentrated a bit more on business. So I went to university, which I didn't finish, but I lasted like 2 semesters actually, so almost a year, and I dropped out. But I had my own company, and in the motorcycle industry still, and I don't even know what they were doing at the time. I think Jacob, he always had a small garage running,
Yeah, kind of like a
Before
shop.
he was 18 years old, he would just fix bikes for friends and people and get paid, and he was really good at it at the time. And then now he's a specialist. He's not a mechanic, he's a specialist. So he can do stuff that other people can't do, really. And I guess over the years we kind of missed each other, so we kind of grew back together as friends.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like so they had this garage which is called Lobo Moto, which basically is called Lobo in Spanish is as a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
It's all come together because they didn't know what to name the new business. and I wasn't there. It was on a road trip, and one of our friends was like, he spent a year in Spain, and he was like, man, it would be just cool to call it Lobo. And they're like, what is Lobo? It's like a wolf. And we're like, yeah, it sounds cool. So that was the name.
And stuck.
Basically. Yeah, totally random. And they had this garage, and meanwhile they were setting up the garage. I was away. I was working in England, and I was thinking, like, I honestly hate my job, my daily job.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a lot what we had to do there, and I was thinking, like, I've become the person that I've never wanted to be, where I do things more for the profit, financial profits than actual pleasure. I was like, man, like, I went back to who I was in high school, and I was this crazy kid, always with my bicycle, and always, jumping benches and having my shin scratched from the pedals, and always bleeding, and always having these bloody socks, when you scratch your shins, and always, yeah. So I was like, man, maybe I'm not 16 anymore, but I'm not super old, and I can still do some of those things. So I actually bought a CR 125.
Oh, cool.
And I started riding with my friends. And basically, I was like, okay, I see they're doing this cool thing. And then I was listening, when I was away from home and I was working, I was listening always to different podcasts. But I wasn't into YouTube at the time. I was listening to Joe Rogan and Fight and the Kid.
Some of the business-minded stuff.
Yeah, just stuff that I could learn without, like, I found interesting, but I wasn't interested in them. But I found it interesting to learn about them.
Yeah.
And I got into podcasts first, but that wasn't going very well. And I just thought one day I was on this trip. I bought a BMW, the adventure bike, and I went to Norway for 8 days to think, basically. And on the way there, like on the third day, I said, like, dude, I love to watch on YouTube tutorials. And like I told you before, like, I don't know, I was watching these candy tutorials, like how to make candy. That's the most ridiculous thing you can watch.
Randomest thing ever.
Yeah, exactly. And I still enjoy them. So how to build a channel that's build one from zero, like no connections. We don't know anyone at YouTube. We're not superstars. How to make a channel that people will like to watch.
Yeah.
And they have to watch it. Like, there's no way around it. I mean, you don't have to like it, but you'll watch it. So you'll give us views.
There's value.
And I thought, like, tutorials. I mean, people got to know. Like, tutorials is the easiest thing. And I had no idea about filming. I mean, I can use an iPhone. Basically, anyone can.
And a GoPro.
And a GoPro. And I had both of these things. And then I bought and for that trip to Norway, I bought a compact camera, which I actually have somewhere here because my girlfriend is using it to take pictures.
That trip must have been pretty cool, too. That's cool that you made time to go and just kind of, like, reset,
Yeah.
Have that reflective period.
Because I was going crazy pretty much.
Yeah.
I just needed to reset. And that was actually the first time when I started vlogging. And most of the things I recorded there, they never made it. No one's seen them. They're on my hard drive somewhere.
You gotta upload them.
A short reel without me. I just made a short reel with views and like kind of stuff, but I don't say anything. There's just music.
Yeah.
Because I was super embarrassed to speak to the camera and things like this, and it was super weird to hear my own voice at the beginning because it was like.
Now, are you pretty used to it?
Dude, I don't even hear the difference anymore.
or even seeing yourself on camera, huh? The first little while is awkward, and then after a bit, you're just like, oh, it just is what it is.
It's super awkward. I mean, it was super awkward, and I don't know, it was super awkward. But now it's normal. Like, I mean, over the time, I've probably seen myself a couple hundred hours on the screen because I have to edit my own material.
Yeah.
And then I've spent so much time with my friends while I edit the material that, like, once they're away, I still with them. You know what I mean?
Yep. Technology.
And to finish the story, basically, I came back to Poland, and I came back from Scandinavia, and, like, let's say I came back on Tuesday, and on Wednesday morning I was in their shop, and I was like, guys, I got this idea. It doesn't have to work, but I've seen it work abroad, in America and Europe, you know, in the English-speaking countries and other places. Let's just do it. Like, I mean, you guys got nothing to lose. You just open a new shop and you got to advertise, and this is free advertising for you. This is content for me, and we all can, you know, play something with it. So basically, at the beginning, it was kind of tough because they needed money. So they, you know, if Jacob wasn't fixing the bikes and he was recording with me, he was recording with me.
Yeah.
So the first plan was whatever's on a shop's floor, we fix it and we record it.
That's cool.
So all the bikes you see, nothing is staged, and nothing is staged up until now. We actually do take bikes that are there to be fixed, and he just does whatever needs to be done for the client, and we recorded it.
Yep.
And obviously he would do the tutorial, how it's done and everything. And basically that's how it started in the beginning.
Did your first videos get traction, or did it take a long time, or how long did it take? Because I know a lot of people think YouTube, you know, you got to do it for about a year or 2 years sometimes before you see kind of the fruits of the work.
Okay, there's two ways. For me, it's not even at the level where it's gained traction yet.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen channels. I call it a coincidence of chance, basically. I've seen channels with 200 subscribers and 3 shitty videos, let's say it that way.
Yeah.
Get so much freaking traction. It's unbelievable. They will go to 45,000 subscribers within 2 days. And to clarify, I'm not hating on anyone for doing shitty videos, but these videos have no, like, educational, no informative content.
Yeah.
They're just entertainment.
Yeah.
So for someone else, they're probably good videos because they gain traction. But this person, with the third video, cannot follow up the 2 previous videos. So those will get 4.5 million views, let's say. But the third video or the fourth video will get 26 views. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So he's not constant with the content he's putting out.
Yeah.
So I call it 10,000 subscribers for me is a coincidence of chance. Okay, for our coincidence, we've been working 2 years now. We're not even there yet. So it's taking us a lot of work. But once everything clicks, we're all ready for, you know,
you've got the basis built, and you have consistent content with value, with all the right ingredients. So it's just a matter of the timing for it to start exponentially growing, right?
I guess so. Or for the correct or the right video, that'll just blow up on somewhere. You know,
probably some new dance.
But the first video I mean, we fix things that are on the shop's floor. Yeah. But it's not coincidence what we recorded in what order or what was posted in what order. So I think my main goal was to record first things that are necessary for someone with a dirt bike. Mm-hmm. So we said, maybe how to change chain and sprockets. Yeah. And actually at the time in the shop, there was a bike that needed the chain to be changed. And the sprockets, the whole setup. So it was like, that's the first thing you need to know, like how to change the sprockets and chain, save some money. And then the second thing was they had to build a new wheel for someone because they painted the hubs and they wanted new spokes. So I was like, dude, everyone wonders how you build a wheel, like 3 axes or 3 axes, 2 axes, 4 axes.
I've actually watched that video myself.
Have you? Okay, yes. Cool. The guys that work in the shop, I mean, you don't build wheels every day, so you forget. Yep. So they watch it all the time. Actually, it's always on the playlist for the shop, which is quite funny. And this is, I think, that video is like the 3rd popular video we have on the channel, which is crazy because it was the 2nd we've ever done. Wow. And then we would just kind of do like, what's next? Like, I don't know, valves, how to regulate the clearance in the valves,
Yep.
you know?
Stuff that people need to know for maintenance. That's stuff
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
constantly looking up, you know, because
Yeah,
you forget fork seals too. It's like I've done a million fork seals, but they're always 8 months apart, so I always
yeah,
forget
exactly.
the little portions, you know.
Yeah, and then we figured like, okay, one chamber forks, you know, the old ones, they're all the same. Doesn't matter if you got KYB, Showa,
Yeah,
Marzocchi, or whoever makes them, Bosch or whatever random company makes them. They all pretty much the same system. So you can put out one video that covers all the bases pretty much.
that's cool.
And that's how we started with. But I mean, I was super psyched when the video would get 250 views in like the first week.
Yeah.
So I remember I had notifications enabled for every subscriber for the first like a year and 2 months.
That's where I'm at. I'm like,
I remember every person like that subscribed for the first year. So it was, and I didn't delete any of those notifications. I still got them on my email.
That's cool.
I just got them in archives. So like sometimes I do go back and I see it's like, oh, 3 per day. That was awesome, you know. Like, but at some point you still do it, and you're like, what is the how people react to it? And the first reaction was when my friends, I was in England still, and they had this motorcycle expo in Poland last year. I think it was in March actually, and they called me and they said, listen, so many people are watching the videos. It's unbelievable. Like they recognize us and they recognize Jacob. So I was like, okay, so it's slowly working.
Yeah.
With less than like 2,000 subscribers, it's already working. So,
isn't that crazy? That's so
yeah,
cool.
I was amazed. It was super crazy.
That's pretty rad. That's a cool story for sure. So, as you guys started producing this content, like, you know, even I'm over here in Boise, Idaho now.
Yeah.
And I've seen your videos just by chance before we've ever even been introduced.
Yeah.
And through YouTube
cool.
and, you know, like Facebook and Instagram, that's kind of how you and I connected. And,
Yeah.
you know, we've only spoken once face to face before. So it's kind of crazy how this whole community atmosphere works. And what I'm finding out too is, you know, as I do this, people reach out to you, people you never would have otherwise crossed paths with, you know?
Yeah.
People are asking about Boise in some of my videos because I do some of the vlogs.
Yeah, I'm reading some comments in your videos. That's pretty rad. Yeah.
So it's kind of cool, and I'm at like super early stages, so it's fun to talk to someone like yourself. And coming from where you guys are at, what's kind of some of the differentiators between being over in like Poland versus the Americas? Does that have any defining boundaries or things that are harder for you guys?
For sure. I mean, I think America alone is like 350 million inhabitants population-wise.
Yeah, huge.
And we're like at 42 million. And we speak one language where English covers pretty much the whole world.
Yeah.
At this point. Maybe more popular would be like Hindu or Chinese, but you know, like obviously for obvious reasons, English is the main language.
Yeah.
So that limits a lot.
So when you guys produce content, do you advertise? Do you sponsor ads to promote to different areas that you may not naturally be found from, or is it pretty organic too?
We've tried everything, to be honest.
Okay.
And you got to remember, like, we got 2 Facebook accounts, 1 YouTube account. All of us have our personal Instagram, and then we got 1 Instagram account that is for the company, for the shop.
Yeah.
I don't manage their site. I don't manage the Lobo brand. They manage it. My friends manage it. It's theirs. I manage whatever is with Brap Moto Show, BMS.
Yeah.
But between our joint accounts, I think we've tried everything. But for sure, I had the pleasure to work with foreign riders and do content for Honda here in Europe.
So cool.
Which was super cool. And I've seen things that I would have never seen before if I wasn't doing this. And it allowed me to visit basically a factory team and see how everything is done inside, which is it's crazy, man. I couldn't get off the phone with my friends. I was like, guys, you won't believe what I've seen here. and I've tried to promote that content into other countries.
Yeah.
And in my personal opinion, up to a certain level, it's a waste of money.
I kind of agree. I'm learning that as I go too. It's the only thing that I've found useful, and I don't know if you guys have done this, but is using the Facebook ads to promote content, whether it's organic on Facebook or YouTube. But then I would advertise to a lot of the third world country areas for lower cost per engagement.
Yeah.
And then I would introduce it organically to like the European and American market.
Yeah.
And try and do it that way.
That is quite smart, because I used to have an English account with Facebook.
Yeah.
For the business account. And basically the reach is exactly the same amount of money units. It's just the currency is different. So if I was paying, for example, for 2,500 reach, I was paying like 10 English pounds, British pounds. Now, since I have a Polish account, I pay 10 Polish zlotys, which is actually 5 times cheaper.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
So I was like, okay, like there's some benefits to live in Poland, or be Polish. So that's funny how they do it. But to be honest, like if you don't reach the people you want to reach organically up to a certain level, you have to change something.
Yeah. Because
it's not growing. And it's not growing because you're not spending enough money. It's not growing because you're not doing something right.
In the content itself, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And you have to, like, I ask myself all the time, because not only I'm the guy that films and edits, but, like, I got a full creative control. Obviously, this wouldn't happen without my friend who's got all the knowledge.
Yeah. And
it's not scripted. It's all, he just goes out there and he speaks and it sounds good, and maybe sometimes we'll take a second or third take.
Yeah.
But usually the first one is good anyway. And it's like 50-50. I do the job, the stuff behind the camera, and he does everything in front.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I can make it look stupid or good,
Yep.
Smart or stupid. So I ask myself all the time, is like, what should we change to? Should we stay in what we want to stay with, or should we cater the needs of other people? And so far, we're going our own way. And if you don't like the content, don't watch it, basically. I mean, obviously, we're not stupid in the sense that, like, we don't learn. So if something obviously isn't working, we're trying to change it.
Yep.
I'm constantly learning about doing movies and how to make everything look cinematic and storytelling and all this, so it looks better, sounds better.
The quality of your guys' videos is incredible. It looks
thanks.
Great.
Yeah. And it costs a lot of money.
I look at it and I'm like, oh man, that's so much work. Like for me to do even half that would be hours of editing, and I'm just like, man, he's probably got it down.
Yeah, but the more you do, the quicker it gets done after, because you learn,
That's cool.
So to answer your question, like pretty much, I wouldn't advertise on Facebook until a certain point.
Yeah. Because
if the content is good, it will always defend itself.
True.
And to even answer the first question, it's like the biggest difference between Poland and America is the language, obviously. We tried subtitles, but it's not really working. People are lazy. They don't want to read. I do understand that most of our content is played on mobile devices. I can imagine people fix it in the garage. They have the phone on the workbench, on the table. They got earphones, headphones, iPad, whatever. And they don't want to be reading. They just want to listen, be like, oh, okay, that's what he said. This goes into that. So they just want to do it. They don't want to be reading on a tiny screen. They just want to see it.
Yep.
So that would be the biggest limitation. And inside Poland, I think it's just a culture difference, because, as you say, people reach out to you and things like this.
Mm-hmm.
But in Poland, man, either we're super small, and no one important has noticed us, or just people are too proud to reach out and cooperate. Yeah. I know that, and that would be like a Polish kind of thing, culture thing, where people just want to say, oh, they're better than us. Instead of doing a collab, we'll just not work with them at all.
Like, that's weird. That's definitely different.
If you're not with us, you're against us. It's like, which is super weird, because I mean, there's only like 250 people doing the whole industry in Poland, so you could probably remember every name with every face of every person that actually races and does something significant in the motorcycle industry in Poland, which is pointless to fight. But that would be it. And
maybe,
the second thing,
maybe that's your calling, man.
Yeah. And the second thing is we got to deal with distributors, and I bet you deal with the companies directly. Which is a big wall to jump over.
Yeah, so when you deal with product or anything like that, you have to go through distributors solely? Like you don't get to interface with the folks that are running the companies as much?
Not at all.
Is there legally reasoning why, or is it just how it's set up there?
I had some experience with a brand from America, and that's how they set up their business. I mean, why would you worry about a tiny market in Eastern Europe and some YouTube asshole that wants a free T-shirt when he can just pay the full retail? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, with the internet these days, it's cool because those small tiny markets can have an impact on the industry. You know, I mean, you guys.
Yeah, for sure. But we got 3 big players, maybe 4 big distributors that deal all the brands.
Yeah, like Parts
I
and
can
Tucker.
name them all. It's like Parts Europe, which you guys have as well.
Yeah.
It's Parts United is the same group, but they have it set up in a way where Parts Europe is for the whole Europe, and they only got the sales reps that speak the language. And then we got our big ones, which would be like Oleg Motocykle. He deals all the Vertex, Prox, all the hard parts. Some of the casual, but more of just riding gear. So he's got Liat, for example, which is a big company. And then you got 2 smaller guys that deal the hard parts and some of the clothing. So you actually, all the bases are covered with 4 companies, and they deal all the parts.
That's crazy.
And they're not really interested in...
They probably do pretty well because they're the only ones bringing in and out of all that stuff for that market, right?
They do quite well.
Yeah.
One for sure.
One for sure.
Yeah, one for sure.
That's cool.
One for sure. I mean, he's got the owner of the company, is a really nice guy, to be honest.
Yeah.
A few years back, you were still able to just call him on his cell and speak to him, and arrange a meeting was hard, but if you showed up in his office at 6 a.m. before he showed up, and you waited long enough, he would find time for you and speak to you about business and stuff like that. I don't think that's the case now because the company grew too much. But his hobby was collecting tanks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he must be doing quite well.
Yeah.
I mean,
some people collect watches,
some others collect shoes, but this guy was collecting tanks, so that was crazy.
No big deal.
No. What do you do for a living? Oh, I sell pistons and I collect tanks. You know? So that was pretty cool. Yeah, but that's basically that. I think that's how the guys in America structure the business here in Europe, and we got to deal with distributors, and they're not really interested in advertising. They just want sell.
Yeah.
So if you can't sell, you won't get the price.
Moving units and stuff. Do you guys sell through any of your videos with like affiliate links and stuff, or?
To answer the question about affiliate links and stuff like this, I mean, we're ready for everything, but the affiliate platform is not quite ready in Poland. So we really don't have an option to cooperate with Amazon, which would be much easier. For example, Amazon could be one of them, where you just direct people there and you get a commission, tiny bit of a commission from whatever they purchase. So we actually sell merchandise such as T-shirts, hats, and hoodies and stuff like this.
How does that side of things go? Is that pretty plentiful, or what's your experience been, or is it just kind of fun?
This is only the first year where we do merchandise, and it absolutely sucks. So there's no way about it. We're learning. For next year, we have a new concept, new designs, new T-shirts, anything. I mean, we're going to change everything from the website we use to the fabric, the fit of the T-shirts, and whatever the design will be on them will be totally new. But on the other hand, the shop is booming, like the garage. I mean, there's so much work these guys got now. it's unbelievable.
From the channel,
I mean,
primarily?
I cannot say yes or no because we have actually no way to measure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is almost June, and for every bike they get done, there's 2 new coming in to get fixed.
Jeez.
So it's a lot of work for them, which is good for business, and if it's good for business, it's good for me as well.
Yeah.
Because it just proves the point that YouTube is a cost-efficient marketing tool, and it's pretty awesome, and anyone can use it pretty much. So
yeah,
you just have to be quite smart about it, and that's all. I mean.
So I guess a lot of people too, when they start on YouTube, there's always this glimmer of, oh, maybe someday I could turn into like, Tanner J. Fox or somebody that makes a living off of YouTube. So in your opinion, I know we touched on this briefly before, but what's kind of like the end goal? Is that one of your guys' vision points too? Is that where you ultimately want to be, is to be able to do this full time and pour into that, or what's kind of the plan?
I mean, the plan. I mean, I have an end result in my head, which would be primarily to quit the job I do now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just do it because I do it, right?
Yeah.
But there's so many moving things. I mean, there's the shop, which is owned by my friends. There's the merchandise, which is done by me and my other friends. There's a lot of other ideas and other products that we will launch end of this year, and we're going to try and push them through the channel. Obviously, with some integrity and telling people that we're pushing the products, so we're not lying or anything like this.
So the big vision.
Yeah, the big vision. Basically, if somehow I can manage to at least kind of get a certain amount of money going for me, where I could do this somewhat full time, or at least I wouldn't have to spend so much time abroad, and I could concentrate on this more, on YouTube more. I would like this channel to be a channel where you can find all the cool stuff that is not biased by advertisers. So, for example, I know you work for Vital. I love Vital. I think this is Vital is pretty much the only.
I work with them. I don't work for them or anything.
Okay, you work with them. That is actually, legal terms are important here. But we all know, or maybe people don't know, so I'll tell you. I mean, they get their money from advertisers, which are all the big companies. How it works here in Poland is probably works pretty much the same everywhere, because I don't think anyone's invented any other model of getting paid. Is if you will shit on a brand, they will not pay you for advertise on your platform.
That's tough, huh?
And I found out about that the first hand. So I already I'm blacklisted for one of the companies. But if you manage to drive enough traffic, because your content is worthy of attention of other people, there will be people that will pay you to advertise on your website, and you will not have to sell crap. You will not have to lie, and you'll be able to keep your, inner self at peace, that you're not telling people something that isn't true.
Your integrity.
Integrity, exactly. Once I started doing this, I said I will never put AdSense on the tutorials, because I do believe in the time of internet, everything should be available for free, because there's ways to make money without people actually paying up front for the product. So there will be never advertising on the actual tutorials. I hate waiting 30 seconds for an ad to be over to watch a 5-minute video. I mean, for me, it's totally ridiculous. I don't mind a small pop-up where you just click, close the window, and that's it. That's pretty fair.
But the long ones.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll look for ways to find money, so I don't have to lie to my viewers.
Yeah.
And where it keeps, I sleep good at night with all the information.
That's good. And I think that's how YouTube operates, is people are attracted to the genuine aspect of the channel and the personalities, the honesty.
Yeah, that is true. So, I mean, to tell you a story about how you learn the hard way, basically, I figured it's like, it is always good to have some good big brands show up on your channel, right? I mean, it gives you the strength. People see, oh, you work with them, you work with these guys. It's always something new to try. I mean, it's your channel, so you can do whatever you want pretty much. Mm-hmm. So one day I decided to do a video review of the GoPro cameras. I've contacted here the distributor, and I think they are the main distributor. Yeah, they are the main distributor of GoPro in Poland. I think they got Skull Candy as well and some other brands. But GoPro, I think, is the biggest. And I sent them an email like I do every day to many brands, and they were the ones that replied. And I asked for the GoPro Hero 5, the 6, and the GoPro Hero 5 Session, I think it's called, the tiny one.
Yeah.
And no paperwork, nothing. They didn't even ask for a conspec, nothing. Like, you get the cameras, you get the SD cards, just return them on time, and that's it. Like, nothing, totally nothing. I was like, okay, cool. I mean, that seems like a cool brand, right? So we went, that was in Poland. My friends did a motocross camp here in Italy, a training camp. So we met in Italy, beautiful place. We recorded, I think we did daily vlogs. Actually, I managed to do daily vlogs, which is crazy to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. When everyone's asleep, you're still by the computer for 4 hours editing. But I think those videos are pretty cool. But I do think that. So I don't know if anyone else. But so I've done the review, and basically my verdict was Hero 6 is amazing, but it's got some problems with freezing. Because it would freeze on us all the time. Yeah. We turned it on, it froze. We shut it off, it froze. God damn it. We're not even using the 6
so
by
frustrating.
This time. Yeah, I mean, you can't work with it, especially when you got limited time, you need your equipment to be on point. So we use the 5.
And you're trying to get the shot too. Like, sometimes it's one shot.
yeah, exactly. So, but we had 3 cameras, and we had the time to play with them, but still frustrating. So in the end, I say, listen, guys, I mean, all these cameras are pretty cool. The Session is cool, budget camera, it's amazing. All these capabilities of settings and everything. 5 is amazing as well. The 6 is pretty good, but it freezes. So it sucks. Yeah. It could be kind of an issue with this particular model that I got in my hand, or it could be just an issue with the whole line setup, And I said, if you had the money, just buy the 5. And that's it. You don't have to worry about anything. Yeah. And obviously, before posting the video, I've done some internet research, and I read some forums where people were complaining about the 6 freezing as well.
It was consistent.
So I was like, okay, it's a global issue, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. So it's fair to say that it freezes and kind of sucks, actually. But everything else about the 6 is amazing. I mean, it's superior to the 5. It's much, much better. And so I posted the video online. I sent the link to the Polish GoPro guys. Man, I got a reply like this. Like smashing me. Like, he basically took me by my arm and asked me out of the room. He's like, I mean, if you want to look like a professional reviewer, you should do this and that. You made mistakes in there. It's a pity you didn't send us this material before. We could correct some mistakes. Now you look unprofessional and stuff like this.
You're like, well, you should have sent me product that works before you...
So before even writing an email back, I grabbed the phone, I called the guy. Yeah. I did make a mistake. I did say that the Hero Session doesn't have image stabilization when it does. Yeah. But the one we had, I always use the 90 frames per second setting, and it doesn't work with 90 frames. I think it works up to 60 frames. So I wrote a comment under the video saying, guys, I apologize, I made a mistake. This is why. Yeah. So anyway, that's clear. I called the guy, and I'm like, okay, instead of just, throwing shit at each other. Let's talk. And he's like, oh, we're not upset, but I showed this video to my boss, and my boss says this is ridiculous, etc. And he goes on to say, a small channel like yours will not affect our sales. And I'm like, yes and no, you know what I mean? It's like, could affect or it doesn't necessarily have to. I mean, if you're bothered by this channel, I mean, you are scared a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. And then he goes, well, if people show up to your channel and they look at this and you make so many mistakes, you're going to look stupid. And I said, like, yeah, I mean, leave building communities to me. The product is great and it's been great for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And we agreed that I'll do another video about just the 6 and explain all the little faults and things like this. And I've sent them an email and they've not gotten back to me, which kind of sucks because I made contact with another company that makes great products, which is I'm not even sure how to properly pronounce the name. It's E cameras, YI cameras. They make the 4K plus. Yeah, I think they're called like
Isn't
that.
Isn't it like Relo or Rilo?
No, it's just YI.
Oh, wow.
Basically, it's just 2 letters, and they make a very good camera that pretty much is a hybrid of the 5 and the GoPro 6. And I had it for over 10 days, and it works really, really good.
Cool.
And it's half the price. But the lesson learned, if you're going to do a review of any sort, it better be a good one, or you better pay for the product yourself, and then you can speak your mind.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because you never know how the people on the other end will treat you if you say something bad. I mean, if they understand, and they'll want to work with you, and maybe they'll ask you to be the test bunny, but if they're not cool and they just want to hear good stuff about their product, I mean, it'll never work out.
Yeah.
So for the people that actually watch my channel, I mean, we don't want to sell any lies here. So we want to be honest as much as possible, and we'll find ways to make it work financially and content-wise. So we don't have to lie to make this thing going, you know?
Yeah. No, that's good. And that's something to be respected too, and have that, and that's what's going to gain you guys genuine followers and stuff too, is being someone they can rely on and trust. Trust's the biggest thing with the community. And
exactly that. Yeah.
And that's what I learned too. Just, I have my real estate business and my social network, just personal friends and family out here, and then the motocross stuff for fun, and they're all overlapping. You have to be a consistent person when it comes to character and integrity across all those platforms and all those interactions, or else in this day and age, I think finding someone that's just BSing you or someone that's not really honest stands out so much more, because there's just so much light shine on every part of your life now with social media. At least for me, because I feel like, people, they know, like, I get to go and ride and do fun stuff, and people actually engage with me on Instagram a lot, which is like kind of where I started with some of the following and stuff, and they actually, trust my advice. I have, a gentleman last night, even, he emailed me and he was asking me which KTM to buy and why, and then asked which dealership to go buy it from. And it's like, he's not asking me because I'm just some kid. He's asking because he genuinely appreciates my feedback on stuff that I talk about. And I think that's so cool. And I've never met this person face to face. That's what's so different today. And so you have to treat that with, responsibility, because
and the bigger you get, the more responsibility you have as well. I mean,
and then you're actually affecting business. Like, I think this is one of the first times where, a bike purchase, that's kind of a big deal for the dealership that I've interacted with and stuff, and I think that's cool. So that's fun.
And another thing is, like, you have to learn that you will not control everything, and you just have to roll with it, I guess. if you want to make basically whatever happens once you post the video is whatever happens, and you have to deal with it, and that's it. You have to know that you've done a good job before, that once it goes online, you'll be solid and everything will be fine. Which is tough sometimes when you read the comments.
Oh yeah, it can add up and it can weigh on you. You gotta keep those one bad comments. Like, you know, as I did this yesterday, I saw just like a short video I did on just my thoughts about the 2019.
Yeah, I've seen it. That's dope. Yeah.
I figured, hey, like, it just launched. Everyone's talking about it on social media. I don't have any content about it, but I do have context, you know? So I was like, I'm going to put out a quick video before it blows up. But I have, like, you know, nothing crazy, but a good amount of views for overnight and, like, some likes on the video. And then there's one dislike, right? And last night I'm, like, looking at it, and I'm like, dude, I can't focus on just one. Like, who cares? And
no, but
that's the
listen,
thing you have to just...
we got either one guy or two guys that dislike every single video.
Yeah.
Like, but they still watch the video. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The information, even if they're total douche, I mean, they still watch your video and they still learn from you and they still appreciate your content, because if they're not subscribed, they wait for the day you upload a video to give you a thumbs down.
And they're engaged.
Which is pretty cool. I mean, they're the most loyal fan you can have. So
that's a good way to look at it.
The haters to lovers, and just appreciate anyone that watches, you know.
That's funny, man.
Yeah. And especially when we get a really good amount of views to a small amount of subscribers, where people just watch our video twice or three times and they move on because they needed to fix a particular thing on their bike. And they don't have to subscribe, but they've taken the knowledge and they appreciate, and maybe they'll come back, maybe not, probably will, because there's no one else actually doing so much work on it. But any hater is still a viewer and is still a fan. So, but it's tough, man. It is tough because it is so easy to destroy your self-confidence, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
So
that's funny. No, that makes sense. So, do you guys, I know we chatted a little bit, but you want to come out to the States. Is that kind of something that you're trying to plan out this next year or so, or next 2 years?
Man, I am super committed.
Have you been out here? I forget if you said that you'd been out to the States before or not.
No, I've never been to the States. I've traveled east for vacation to Asia and stuff like that. I am super committed to coming to America and seeing everything for myself and seeing how it works there and gaining a new perspective and just doing dope stuff with cool people, you know, cool. and basically just living the dream. I mean, for a little while, or making it work and making this dream be my reality, and then just pursuing other dreams while this gets solidified. So for sure, I mean, if you're still game, I'm game for sure.
Oh,
so I've started working out again, so I can enjoy riding, and I'm not, you know, a squid anymore. So yeah, I'm on the training regimen here. I have a list of stuff I have to do. Oh, my girlfriend's actually laughing.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I'm doing a lot of work to lose some weight and actually have the conditioning to last longer than 7 minutes. So that'll be cool.
That'll be cool. Yeah, it'll be interesting too. Oh, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Okay. Yeah.
Because you guys have a lot of public transit, right? Getting around, it's a lot easier in those areas than I would think in America, right? We don't really have good transit systems to get from state to state, you know?
We got trains, we got planes. I mean, Europe, I mean, because I work in this industry, aviation industry, Europe is like super small. Yeah. Everything is 2.5 hours away if you're on the plane. And then Uber is pretty much everywhere, taxis everywhere. I mean, every decent country has a metro, at least one line of metro, so you can use that.
Yeah, it's like a 14-hour drive for me from Idaho to get to SoCal, where all the tracks are. Yeah,
it'll be like to circle Poland twice, for 14 hours. So it's a big difference with the distances, but it just depends on the perspective, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's cool. No, that'd be sweet if you came out here. It'd be fun to do some adventures and get some content going and see
for
what
sure,
you think.
for sure, and learn from each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super psyched. I can't even explain. So for sure.
And then I guess last two, as we kind of wrap things up, what you know, what are some of your suggestions to the people watching? You've done, whether you think so or not, you've done a great job capturing, you know, thousands of people's attention in a niche passion and market of motocross. What's kind of some of your just quick pointers on people looking or hesitant about YouTube, and what do you suggest for people like myself? What are some things that stand out for you over the years of learning?
You know, I've done it only for 2 years now, and what has worked for us is being honest and being natural. So if you see us on YouTube and you meet us in person, we're the same people.
Yeah.
I mean, we do script some things, like we'll talk, you know, 2 minutes before recording, like, oh, dude, kick him in the ass or whatever. But that's for skits. That is for, like, stupid stuff for the vlogs. But pretty much the way you see us on the channel is the way we are.
That's cool.
And I think it just makes life much easier that way, where you're always yourself. And if people don't like you, they don't like you. But if they do, they will like you forever.
Yeah.
And that's dope. And I think that is the only rule which should be kept, is just be yourself, you know?
Yeah.
If you want to make it in a small industry like motorcycles or any other small industry where people will get to know you personally.
I mean, it is called YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's all about you. So that is true.
And then I don't know if you want to, you're welcome to. I have no problem taking like criticism publicly or whatever, but I know you mentioned there are some tips and things that you notice in some of the stuff I've released so far that might be helpful or different perspective at least. Do you recall some of those things that maybe...
Yeah, the biggest one, I was watching your vlogs yesterday, and
and if it's boring sections, tell me, like, you don't have to be, you know, candy coated.
No. I'll just, like, it's for everyone. Actually, it goes back to your previous question, is like, if you're not a personality as a personality, so whatever you do will be followed.
Yeah.
You have to make yourself more appealing or more interesting while being yourself.
Yeah.
And I try to manage this by making the materials interesting from a video perspective. So, for example, but this is only mine. You don't have to take it. I mean, I know that different things work for many other different people.
Yeah.
And I don't have to agree, but it still works. But I just try to make the story more like worth storytelling. So if you're talking about, like, I've watched the one where you go paddleboarding or where you change the stand under your bike.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't just change the stand under my bike, but I would make this build up about the stand being the only stand, for example, and then I would just kind of B-roll, you switching out the stand from few angles and do some slow motion and then speed ramp and be like, oh, it's done.
So some more meat to it, huh?
Yeah, like, and do some sound design and things like this.
Yeah.
But I do understand storytelling. If you're not natural with storytelling, it comes with time. I personally think I suck at storytelling. So it takes me a while to do it, you know? So
that's good.
I kind of watch other people, how they do it, and I not necessarily try to copy, but I try to learn from them, and, like, whatever works for them, I try to make it work for me.
Yeah.
And do things like this. So, I mean, the easiest comparison is, like, Adam Cincerello. He just opened up his YouTube channel. It's like 230,000
subscribers. This is so funny.
Yeah. But you can see, like, he doesn't care. He's just natural. Yeah. But he's a personality in the sport. He's one of the superstars. So no matter what he puts out, people will still follow him. Mm-hmm. Whereas in me and you,
we're not.
We are like kind of... No, but we're just like medium level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm even lower than you because my friends are popular. I'm not popular. No, I mean, I'm behind the scenes guy. So it's even worse, you know? it's even harder for me to make it work because people expect to see my friends, not me.
Yeah, that must be tough too.
I got to make it interesting in other ways than just by myself appearing on the screen.
Yeah, for sure.
So
No,
I would
that's good.
say try making it interesting with the editing, and then try to come out with like great content.
That's where I get lazy, huh? I'm like, man, I like have all this, right? Even right now, I have footage from like 3 days, and I'm just like, I don't want to have to like compile it all because it takes forever, and then I'm running into issues with like storage too, you know?
Yeah, that's the biggest issue.
And exporting takes hours, and I'm just like, oh, I wish I could just like have the setup I need. That's part of it. You said, you know, it's going to be expensive because you need the hard drive and the space and the processing system to make everything happen quicker.
Yeah, true. But
I'm on a MacBook Air.
Yeah, but if you use proxies, you can still manage. I have a MacBook Pro, but it's not the most powerful one, and I manage with 4K footage. So
jeez.
I mean, but the thing is like I find that if you do vlogs, I'm not going to show everyone every single moment of my day because that's not even interesting. We select a theme of the episode. Like when we went testing with Ollins, that was the theme. We didn't show we went to McDonald's after.
Yeah.
We just selected, one theme, and that's it. We kept
and everything builds to that topic, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Any adventures that happen along the way, we try to show them as well, such as getting a flat tire, because that is interesting. But the main focus was Ollins and testing with them, so we try to show that.
Yeah.
Over all the not actually interesting things that happen all around it,
That's cool. Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out which ways to go. Like, I want to put out things for real estate because I get constantly asked for questions about that, and then like business in general, entrepreneurship, because that's a new thing to me this last 2 years, and then the motocross is like, my core. Obviously, that's where people know me from.
I think the longer you do it, you'll just find your niche, and you'll keep going with that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Is there anything else
me too.
you kind of want to talk about or put on here before we wrap things up?
It'll take forever for me to say everything I've learned, and I like to share things, but I know there's a different moment for every story. So
that's cool.
I guess for today that'll be it. And if we ever take this American trip going, then I think people have enough of me anyway. So.
Well, I look forward to it, man. It'll be fun to shake your hand in person one day. That's cool.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yours as well. And thank you for having me. We finally managed to work this with some turbulence, but we got it. We got through with it. So that's very cool.
Cool, man. Well, I'll go ahead and catch up with you offline and get everything kind of situated. It's one of the first interviews I've done with someone in the industry, so that's kind of cool. And
thank you.
Yeah, I'll put it up on my channel. We'll see what happens.
And I'll share it, of course.
You better. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Well, I appreciate your time, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.
You too. All right, see ya.
See you, Tomek.